Hey, this is Scott Cole from whentobuyandsellstocks.com. In this video, I just want to discuss, the concept of getting rid of a loser. A lot of people, especially people who haven't traded very much or they're investors or whatnot, they refuse to sell a stock even if it's going down. In fact, a lot of people are convinced that they should buy stocks when they're cheap because that's pretty much all you hear on CNBC all the time. You know, the stock is cheap, you should buy it. So that's why the majority of Wall Street really doesn't outperform the stock market. If you look at the rankings for mutual funds and statistics for mutual funds, you'll find that really only about 15 to 20% of all mutual funds actually outperform the stock market on a long-term basis. And the reason is that they don't really trade that well. They're picking stocks based on fundamentals and whatnot, but they really don't know how to trade and they don't know how to control their risk. Now, a few weeks ago I had mentioned Google, because Google was breaking out of a cup with handle pattern and big basing pattern that went back to early 2010, and that suggested that this stock was going to probably advance higher. And for a while, it did. It had broken out above this 625 level, traded as high as up near 670, and then it started to pull back, and it formed kind of an island reversal if you study Japanese candlestick charts or not. And that means it gapped up one day, traded above that gap for a few days, and then gapped below that initial gap, and it forms an island up here. So it formed that. So on this particular day here, when it was down 27 bucks, that was probably a good sign to get out of Google. Now I had held Google for a long time, since before the bear market began, and basically I was just looking for an opportunity to bail out of this stock. It had rallied nicely, got up to these levels, and I was looking for an excuse to sell, but more on a long-term basis. I was given that reason the other day. The stock reported earnings, and in pre-market it was trading down about 50 bucks, and I just unloaded it. So I still came out ahead of the game in my holdings of Google, which was a longer term investment, and I'm steering clear of that kind of idea from now on, as far as my trading is concerned. The idea here is that Google looks like it's probably going to head lower. Anytime you get a giant gap downward like that, there's no reason to own that stock. There are plenty of other stocks that are trading upwards. Here's a perfect example. Here's a stock that back in early November gapped way high. It opened that trading session over $36 after closing the previous day at 16. So it more than doubled in value just at the open there. And a lot of people might be inclined to just sell that stock. Well, now it's trading. It closed at over $52 today, so over here on the right. So you want to get on board stocks that are in an uptrend, and you want to get rid of stocks that are setting new lows in prices, whether it's a 10-day low, 20-day low, 10-week low, 20-week low. Any stock that is making lower lows, just get out, because there are plenty of opportunities elsewhere to make money. Now, this is from the standpoint of trading. If you're more of a long-term investor trying to be like Warren Buffett, then this is not the strategy for you. But my advice is to, if you get major sell signals like you did in Google, get rid of it. Now, just going to bring up Apple. Apple reported earnings after the close today. This is a chart of Apple. It was making new highs just a few days ago, and then modest selling the last couple days. Apple reported earnings, and it's in after hours trading is up $23 the last I saw. So we're going to make new highs from there. Let's just look at a weekly chart. You can see Apple long-term uptrend. This goes back all the way to the March lows of 2009. Let's look at Google again over that time period. Had a nice rally from those March lows and then just traded sideways. Tried to break out of this trading range and it failed, and it looks like it's going to head back down to the low end of the trading range in my view. It might not, but why hold on to a stock that's underperforming? Put your money in the stocks that are performing well. So those are some thoughts on when to sell stocks. And down the road, we'll be looking at more ideas on when to buy. Come check us out at whentobuyandSellStocks.com.